Oh, well, I'm so excited to have you here. Oleg, all I know is your name is Oleg. I mean, that's kind of that's it. You're a one name celebrity, arm wrestling celebrity.
hmm
What's your last name?
my last name is Moise, right? It's Moisei. So it's like Ukrainian. I come from Ukraine, so that's why my name is a little bit unusual for Americans. So yeah.
Well, yeah, like your Gmail. So now I know. And
hmm
some people say Oleg, or is it Ole?
It's Oleg.
Okay,
Oleg,
so it's a
yes.
G. Okay.
Yes, with a G, kind of like that's how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Well, I can just tell by just looking at you right here. I know we've met only briefly a couple times at tournaments, but you've got your arms there showing off, and that's pretty nice right there. And
Yeah, this is all
well, I
all of us our wrestlers do.
no, nothing, no, not like what you look like. Okay. Well, I was having an interview with Dallas Langston, and I asked him, I said, who's really someone to watch out for whom to watch out? Who's really the up and coming? Who's got everybody nervous? And you were the first one he mentioned. He says, it's got to be Oleg. Okay, so everybody now knows that you're in the tournament. When back in the day when Alan and I were competing quite a bit, even now with Alan, but they would say, oh, the Fishers are in the house, and then they would be,
Mhm.
oh, wow. Well, now it's if Oleg's there, they're wondering whether they should enter or not. You've got fear in a lot of these people, and you've just become so powerful, and you strike fear in a lot of people, and your speed is amazing. Corey Miller is fast, and you are fast with a capital F. There's just
Mhm.
power and strength in you, and you're a trainer in Glendale, California. Tell me,
Correct.
how is it that you're just a phenom now? How is it that you just got into arm wrestling and now you're on this map and everybody's talking about you? What happened?
Yeah, so just a little bit my backstory. I started arm wrestling back when I was like 16 years old. So since the time I started, I shifted a little bit from calisthenics. I was doing calisthenics before, and after that, I started going to the gym. And as soon as I started going to the gym, I started doing arm wrestling, right? So all my gym training was very well connected with arm wrestling training, right? And the more I was working out, I'm just such a gym enthusiast. I would always try to learn more the different ways, and I believe the reason why people do fear me is, well, like you mentioned, I am pretty fast, right? So I'm always looking. I do consider myself to be kind of intelligent and like smart opponent. Due to For me, I have to do that. The reason is because unfortunately I was not born with the big hands, right? So my hands are relatively small to my weight class, or to just like people who are doing usually good at arm wrestling. Usually people with good hands, they are more successful in arm wrestling, right? So for me, it was even I wasn't but on the edge to even quitting arm wrestling, because I was just thinking like, I don't know if I can make it with the smaller hands, because normally sport is kind of very specific. But then meeting some people who did have also like a smaller hand, and just to see the level they're in, and they really kind of impressed me how much they could have accomplished. So that's why I kind of stick to it. But I knew I cannot just go the regular route just to become stronger and then get my strong sides, and just be strong in the hook or be strong in the top roll, right? I knew that I had to go and find a different ways and be very different, be have a good uh, be kind of well rounded, and be able to pull in different styles and different kind of different vectors, right? And then one of the most important thing for that to happen, you have to make sure that you're good at offense, right? You have to be good offensive puller, and to be offense, you have to be fast. So a lot of people also ask me, how do you get so fast? How do you get like that speed? And honestly, of course, you do practice that at the gym. You practice that with resistance bands. You practice that every time which you actually practicing. When I do go in the practices, I don't go to the practice just to destroy my arms. I'm always trying to work specific techniques and kind of work on my weak points, and always trying to analyze. So that's where I feel like where my strength coming from, because analyzing a lot and finding the way how can I actually win with having my disadvantage, and I actually turned that into my advantage.
Wow. Okay. So you've said a lot about the size of the hand, because Alan's, he has a paw, and that's one of the things you were referring to. And now, when you're in the gym, they have all these equipment pieces. And when Alan would go into a gym, he would get on top of an odd piece of equipment, which was meant for thighs, and he would be using it in a way. And the manager would go, "Well, just leave him alone. He knows what he's doing." Do you
Yes.
have just table time at the gym, or do you use equipment in a unique way that make people stop and go, what is he doing?
Yes, I do. Well, you see, like I said, compared to Alan just has like extraordinary big hand.
Yes, he
So
does. And you can
it's
see
a
him in the screen. Actually, he was.
How
oh
are you?
Alan, good to see you.
I wanted to see what you had to say about me.
Yeah. So yeah, he's got a good size hand. And
Well,
what were you saying?
what I'm trying to say is, for me, a lot of my training is around the hand training, right? I'm training a lot of wrist, a lot of fingers, every possible way, because I know that's my weak point. And when I pull someone who's stronger, more elite level arm wrestlers, they understand and they can like sense it, right? So this is my major training. Is my favorite handle is a wrist wrench. That's, I feel like, my like number one training tool that I used all the time throughout my career, just like as heavy as possible, high volume, different training styles, right? For example, someone like Alan, like for me, like it's very hard for me to pull him. It takes a lot of energy to pull someone like him, right? So that's why it's I have to kind of find the different ways and be able to kind of sacrifice certain things. A lot of times that would be my wrist, to kind of compensate for my styles.
Wow. Yeah. Now, did you have a question for Oleg?
Yeah, I have a really interesting question that we're going to put on all the podcasts or all the interviews. So it's called "Break Your Code Secrets to Your Competitors or to Your Challengers." So I've done this since I started arm wrestling. I always like to challenge myself, and by doing that, I tell my opponents how they can beat me. So would you be willing to actually go there with us and break your code?
To tell how to beat me?
You don't have to.
Well,
You don't have to.
no, to be honest, I do tell this to a lot of people who I train with. I tell them this because I want them to be stronger than me, so this way I can be stronger. Because to every move there is like counter move, right? So I'm telling you because I don't want to for example, my training partners, to go to my strong suit. I want you to know my weakness, so you hit that, and I know what to do afterwards, right? I Yeah, I will tell you, but it's a little bit different right and left. If we're talking about my stronger arm, which is left, probably the weakest would be for me, it's my wrist, my cupping, because I have a limited fingers, so that would be probably my weaker point. But not everybody can accomplish this, right? Because I do have a great pronation as well. But I would say wrist, taking my wrist out, that would be the best way, because I wouldn't recommend people to hook me, because I do have a great pronation on my left. So when you hook me, I will just stop roll you, or I will just take the center and I will just take it into my advantage. If I'm talking about my right, I don't know if I want to share this, to be honest.
No, you can
But
keep
probably,
that was really great.
I'll keep my right.
That's the makings of a professional athlete like yourself that's willing to give away that so that you can be better. And that was my whole
Yes.
point from the beginning. I want to excel beyond what I know And the more I get out there, the more I can actually excel in knowledge.
That makes of a
Correct, yeah.
champion. And I really do appreciate you sharing that about your left arm, and you can, leave the right for people to wonder. I like that. And in fact, there's some people that are gunning for you, but who are you gunning for? Who are you focused on? I know that Bill Collins has a big tournament coming up in Anaheim. So are you going for anybody in Riverside at the World Series of Arm Wrestling, that regional?
I do, honestly, of course. My number one opponent who I've been like going toe to toe, and then that's the guy who's kind of always looking out for me, but I'm always looking out for him, and I cannot actually reach him. That would be Dallas Langston. Like, I'm just trying to beat him. He still has a higher score than me. I still haven't managed to beat him on the tournament. So he's my number one goal. Then the second person would be David Yagan. Also, he's my training partner, so he does know all my strengths. He just did excellent at the Arizona State yesterday. So that's my like long-term goals. But yeah, those would be the guys for me to beat.
That's really interesting, because Dallas was the one that when I asked him the question, who is the one that should have the shout out, and he named you. So that's going to be a great match, great tournament for people to watch out for in the future. And do you have any favorite wins? Like, do you have one of those where you just said, oh, that was the best match I ever had? Do you have one that you want to share?
I do. So one of my most memorable matches that I had, that was against Kenny Hughes. That was when I had a super match with him. It was a right-handed super match. Oh, sorry, that was left-handed super match, and that's when Kenny. You guys know who's Kenny is. Extremely strong. Rest in peace, Kenny. But extremely strong. That was the match when he opened my actual hand, my top roll, but I tucked my shoulder in, and I managed to. That was my first time actually pulling like that too. He top rolled me, took everything my wrist, and I just had to commit with my shoulder and then press him to the side. And he also did some elbow falls over there too.
Wow.
So that was a
match. I do remember that.
Were you there for that?
No, I saw it on
Oh.
YouTube.
Wow. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that one. He was just a force to be reckoned with, and we loved Kenny for sure.
Yes. Those matches, and then I just loved the series when I won my overall. That was at the Long Beach compound event. That was approximately a year and a half ago. It was the event when I took the first place, and I had to go left-handed against the series of all opponents. I had to go through the all pro classes, and then I had to go through the amateur classes. I did beat the Alan. I forgot Alan's name, the big guy from Orange County.
Yeah.
So do you remember?
Get his last name. It starts with a P.
I forgot his last name, but Alan, you know who I'm talking about? Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, he's
Alan.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's like twice of my size. So I did manage, thanks to actually Dallas. Dallas gave me a very vital advice how to beat him, and I applied it, and it actually was successful. So that was like also very memorable.
Nice.
That's pretty awesome. He's now 3 times that size.
I know.
Huge.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I remember one newscaster saying, it seems that arm wrestling is a unique sport in that each person, most people in arm wrestling get the other person to get better. So we are all there for each other, and it's a wonderful family of arm wrestlers. And I want to thank Greg Sharp for putting arm wrestling back on the map even more so through the World Series of Arm Wrestling, and it's all over the nation right now. And you're getting ready and you're training. What's the one thing that you're doing this week for training that you want to share?
I started doing a lot of rope pulling. I think rope pulling one of the greatest tools for the arm wrestlers can use. Just no feet, no legs, just going up and down.
Oh, climbing a rope, you mean? Not rope pulling like
climbing the rope. Climbing the rope, correct.
Wow.
Yes, climbing the rope.
Yeah.
Started doing this recently. See major differences in my wrist grip strength. Great for my biceps, trains your back, whole body.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Do you have any
How
other
do you
questions?
do against David? I mean, he destroyed Corey Miller yesterday, right?
You're talking about Stepanyan or Yagan?
He's
David,
David's
yeah.
brother.
So there's two Davids, right? There's a bigger David, Yagan, and there's smaller David, Stepanyan.
It's I think it's the bigger one.
The bigger one.
I
The
wrestled
bigger
Corey
one,
Miller yesterday and just kept smashing him. Like I couldn't even believe it was happening.
but that's in 176, right?
Probably 176.
So you must be talking about David
Really?
Stepanyan.
The little short
Extremely
guy?
strong puller.
The little short one?
Yes.
No, it's the bigger one with the beard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, with the beard. Okay. You said Corey Miller. Oh, okay, I see. So I think he was competing in 198 though.
198. Yeah, I don't think Corey is 176, is he?
Okay, I see. I'm not sure.
Okay.
David Yagan, extremely strong. We practiced together with Raj, me and him, and Vazgen. That's the team we have. He does have an upper hand. He has a higher score. He beats me right now.
He's
Yeah, he's a
powerful.
different level. He's taller. He is has a very good big palm, wide palm. Like his thumb is very thick, a very strong wrist, very strong in the hook.
That was just for me because I've never seen the guy before. I've heard about him, but to see him in action just blew me away with what he did yesterday.
Well, I'm so glad that we had this time to interview you and get to know you a little bit better. You are certainly a humble and wonderful young man, and we wish you all the best. And I look forward to seeing all the accomplishments that you have in the future. You're just a really super guy, and we were honored to have you chat with us.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you for your interviewing me. I'm really honored to be here and talking to you guys. I really really thankful to be in such a great community, arm wrestling community. I would say it's arm wrestling family more. Everybody looking out to each other, trying to improve each other, and I just love it so much.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much for the interview. I'm looking forward to see you guys at the next event.
Yes.
Sounds good, my friend.